We're alive.
What? Bear with me 1 second, Israel. Yo, Bob, you cut the fans off. I don't know why the fans is on. I just noticed. Yeah, it's what? All right, bobbity. Mm-hmm. 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 Give me 1 second. Just put the attendance in there. Mm-hmm. All right, Shalom, Israel, Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Thumb, Yahweh, Shema, Thumb, Shema, Shah, Priest and Officer 1000, Yadai, holding it down till 12 show General Muhammad gets here. Now, as Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, we have to understand, man, that's the Lord's chosen people. This is the time to wake up. This is the time to realize, man, it's the Lord's chosen people. That we are not supposed to be integrated into this society. That they are using every evil vice that they have, you know what I mean, to keep us in wickedness. And we got to cut that out, Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. We are the Israelites of antiquity. Then we are the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana. We only are to teach Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You know, it was a movie that came out, I bought it. Big shout out to Captain 10,000 Azania. He was going over it today on The Hidden Truth. I wanted to touch on it too. That new movie with Eddie Murphy, Lauren London, and that devil. Lauren London, the devil too. That devil Jonah Hill. It's a remake of Guess Who, or that famous one that came out in the '60s with Sidney Poitier. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? This thing is, you know what I mean, the so-called Jew Jonah Hill. He's playing, you know what I mean, this devil who meets this sister. Lauren Hill. We know is an Edomite, a white woman, because her father's a white man. You know what I mean? But most Israel look at her like she's a sister. She's not. So in the film, right, they're portraying, this Edomite man getting with this, you know what I mean, Judite sister. And they're portraying, you know what I mean, and having an overbearing father. That he should just let her love her. And we should just understand, man, an interracial marriage is against God. Interracial marriage is a sin according to God. And I'm going to show it to you. Brother, what's your name again, True? Ishayala. Can you give me Deuteronomy 7:3? Give me Nehemiah, the 13th chapter, and start at verse 23. We got to understand, right, as the Lord's chosen people. First, I might as well just break down what love is. According to God, right, in 2 John 1:6, love is keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what law is. That's what love is. Love is walking after the commandments of God. And God is against interracial marriage. Can you log into the Can you log into the Philly TikTok? Well, we got to understand, right? God is against it. And I'm going to show it to you in the Bible. Because they love to say, but you just gotta let them love each other. No. That's not love according to God. Love is walking after the commandments. And God is against interracial marriage, because interracial marriage is a sin according to God. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Meaning the Lord is telling us that we are not to make marriages with who? The heathen. These other nations. We're not supposed to do that. When we came out of Egypt, right? The Lord was telling us, man, when we go into our land, when we go into Israel, you know what I mean? Do not make marriages with these other nations that are around about us. The Africans, the Moabites, the Ammonites, or the Japanese, and the Amorites, who are the other Africans, or the Edomites, who is the oppressor, the devil that the Bible speaks of. The Lord is telling us, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Keep going.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
We're not supposed to give our daughter to their son. We're not. We ain't supposed to do that. You're not supposed to give your daughter to their son, meaning this. Your daughter cannot marry a man that is not an Israelite, right, and vice versa. Right. And let me tell you something too, man. It makes it so wicked, man. And the sister, brought this up, during the Captain Lasagna's podcast, The Hidden Truth. Most sisters are not attracted to the oppressor. So when you really see a sister with an oppressor, it's one of two things. They chasing the bag, or they are really fully indoctrinated into the oppressive society. Like the ones that really chase after these heathens, man, is really us. Like it's really brothers. Like I cannot tell you how many brothers I see with a dog beside them, with Lassie. Sisters do it too. But our God is saying this, man. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give to their son. Meaning my daughter cannot come home with Bill or Bob or Peter Smith or McGillicuddy. It ain't happening. Keep going.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Read that again for the brothers in the back.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Nor their daughter shall you take unto their sons. You're not supposed to marry Susan or Sally or Etrin or Edith or it's another old oppressor name. You know what I mean? For Olga. You ain't supposed to marry, these heathen women. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to take their daughters. You're not supposed to. It is an evil thing to do. That's why I think back, right? I think back when Bron's son took that oppressor's daughter to the prom, right? And everybody was like, what the? And even like baby girl, LeBron's youngest daughter, she was looking like when they was taking the picture, like, yo, this shit ain't right. Like, this girl was what? Y'all is 6 years old? This baby is 6 years old, and she know, like, yo, my brother being with the oppressor's daughter is not right. Because you know what that does? It lets them know that they're not good enough. It lets young brothers know when they see you with the oppressor, they're not good enough. And that's the message that they're trying to promote and push. But our God is telling us, man, we ain't supposed to make marriages with them. We ain't supposed to give our daughters to their sons, nor their daughters to our sons. Meaning you ain't supposed to do that. And the crazy thing is, man, like, you telling brothers this, they be like, and I blame the incel community myself. I do. That's who I blame. They say, oh, they're more submissive. They listen. Got a lot of brothers, man, that they call themselves passport bros. Now, I will say this. If you going out there, to the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico or going, where Israelite sisters is, and you building them up and staying with them, ain't nothing wrong with that. But a lot of brothers go over there and I go over to them heathen nations too. Oh, they go to China. They go to Thailand. They go to the Philippines. And you go and be the biggest whoremonger. You just can't pull women up. That's all it is. You just scared of sisters over here. And the problem is, man, which is so evil about it, you turning from your own sister. That sister's in the same ghetto and barrio as us. She on the same reservation as us, holding us down. As soon as you get a couple dollars, as soon as you feel as though you made it, you toss her aside for Becky, for Susan. Since that brother been struggling with you in the projects forever. Struggling with you on them concentration camps called reservations, struggling in the barrio with you to make ends meet. You go and leave him to go get with Bill, to go get with Tim. Don't you understand, man? And what Captain Zariak said about this a while ago was heavy, is that and he was telling that one brother, from I Love New York, you become their pet. You're their pet, in a sense. You are. That's all you are to them. And we ain't supposed to do that. And our God is telling us that. Our God told us, man, neither shall we take, give their daughters to our sons or take their daughters unto our sons. Keep going.
Verse 4, for they will turn away thy son from following me.
They will turn away thy son from following me. You know what happens when you go get with Susan? You know what happens when you go get with Becky? You serve their gods. Like, you know what happens, Ibai, when you get with the oppressor's daughter? You wearing matching Christmas pajamas. That's what you do. Y'all laughing, but that's what happens. You get with Susan, you start smiling ear to ear. You start eating shit that you never thought you would eat in your life. Eating casserole and cobbler and all the other garbage, man. God damn. And then you can forget about it. Next thing you know, you in the Catholic Church. Next thing you know, you get with an African woman. Next thing you know, you're in whatever Mafupu or whatever, worship whatever God that they worship. Same thing for you, sisters. Getting abused by the oppressor, man. I remember that oppressor, Chad Wheeler, beat a sister half to death. And when she woke up, regained consciousness, he laughed and said, "Oh, you still alive?" and chased her in the bathroom. You turn away from following our God, following after them, because that heathen becomes your God. Becomes your God. And we have one God, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, and his name is Yahweh. Shema Yasha'Allah Yahweh Allahayanahu Yahweh Kad. Yeah, our God is one God, and our God is against interracial marriage. I pray you understand. I pray you understand that. Keep going. I got nothing here. Why?
That they may serve other gods.
That they may what?
Serve other gods.
Now you serving other gods. Now you are serving other gods. And guess what happens when you serve other gods? You start following after our God. You ain't following the God of Israel anymore. Now you following after Caesar Borgia. Now you're following after, Muhammad. You got to understand, man, as the Lord shows some people just how evil that is, man. We can't do that. We can't do that. Keep going.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you.
The anger of our God is kindled against us. Why? Because we're following after the oppressor, wanting to marry them. And here's the thing, man. Our women are the most beautiful women on this earth, man. Get the sisters a hand. This is the problem. And they try to downplay our sisters too, try to make it seem like, oh, well, the oppressor is this much better. The Asians, the East Indians, the Arabs, no, they're not. And sisters, that go for y'all too, man. You can't touch the Black, Latino, or First Nation, man. The oppressor could never. The East Indian, the Africans could never. We have to understand, man, and learn to find beauty within ourselves and realize that all we have is each other, and our God made us for each other. He didn't make us, for these other nations. Even if you look at the so-called animal kingdom, right? You ain't gonna find a jaguar with a cheetah or a lion with a tiger. It just doesn't happen. Bluebirds fly with bluebirds. Green birds fly with green birds. Blacks, Latinos, First Nation men and women, we got to ride together. Because our God said so. And it's going to explain why. Keep going.
And destroy these suddenly.
And destroy these suddenly. You follow after these other gods, man, the Lord will destroy you. I pray you understand. You follow and go and think you can marry Susan or Becky or marry any of these heathens. The Lord will destroy you. Keep going.
Verse 5. But thus shall he deal with them.
This is how we were supposed to deal with them. Keep going.
Ye shall destroy their altars.
The Lord told us to destroy their altars. That's why, man, and Malaki, get me right. When we came out of Egypt, man, and we was running through these African nations and these other heathens, man, we destroyed their altars. Right. We destroyed their altars, man. They couldn't come to us with no other, other God or whatever. Because our God told us to destroy their altars. You know how you do that today? Come out the Christian church. Come out the Catholic church. Take that picture of Caesar Borgia that is in grandma's house and throw it in the goddamn trash. Or you could do what I do with my father's Quran. This is what I do, brother. And this is advertisement. If you ever run out of Charmin's or Scotch toilet paper, them pages of them Quran, they do it. It does the same job. The same job. You ain't got to go and get that 1,000, roll Scotch toilet paper, brother. Take that Quran and use them pages. And then when you're done, prop your feet up on it. That's what we're supposed to do when it comes to these other gods and when it comes to these other nations, man. Like, and our people fall for it. Like, you think the Arabs have some type of deep knowledge. You think that the Africans and Ra and Geb and all that other garbage, man, that they're so knowledgeable. They're nothing. They are nothing. But you're so caught up in being mesmerized by these heathens, man, that you throw away our God, the one that delivered us from them Hamites, our gods, man, that is going to destroy America and the oppressor for what they have done to us. Keep going.
And break down their images.
Break down their images. Like I said, take that picture of Caesar Borgia and throw it in the garbage. Throw it in the garbage. Like I saw a sister the other day out in Malak here. She said she was a Buddhist. She believes in Buddha. Like, goddamn. Like you will believe every other nation's God but your own. And that's another thing which is psychological too, is that the Asians have a God that looks like them. The Arabs have a God that looks like them. The oppressor has a God that looks like them. Our God, according to the oppressor, looks like the oppressor. You see the problem in that? When the only God that is real and that is true, our God, and guess what? He's a nigga. He's a nigga, Yahweh, who's a black man in spirit. He's the God of blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women, man. Keep going.
And cut down their groves.
And cut down their groves, man. Listen, toss that Buddha thing. Listen, throw that Buddha in the garbage too. Throw that Quran, man. I like to mess with Muslims that can't. I pick up a rock and say, "Is this your God?" Boom. Oh, they lose their mind. But that's their thing. You worship a rock. You worship a rock. A lot of you Christians worship wood, and that's in the Bible too. That's in the Bible too, in Deuteronomy 4 and 27 to 28 and 28 and 64, worshiping gods of wood and stone, following after these heathens. But this is why we're not supposed to marry these heathens. This is why we're not supposed to follow after their gods. Read the next verse.
And burn their graven images with fire. Mm-hmm. Verse 6.
Burn their graven images with fire. Now, I'm not telling you to go outside and make a bonfire of, of Qurans or whatever. But if you want to, ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't unlawful. Because we for sure did that with their other gods. Keep going.
For thou art an holy people.
We are a holy people. Holy meaning separate, set apart. Holy ain't your mama, your auntie, your grandma with the feathered hat on in church. Holy means to be separate, set apart. Keep going.
Unto the Lord thy God.
Unto the Lord thy God. Meaning we're separate unto the Lord. Because holy means to be separate, set apart. And we're set apart unto our God. There's no room for the oppressor. There's no room for the Africans or the Arabs, because our God only made room for us. We're the ones that he chose to be separate unto him. Keep going.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
He chose us to be a special people. Not everybody. Not these heathens. He chose blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women to be a special people. That's the point. Keep going. Yahweh by Shimon Shah Barakatah. Yahweh Shimon Shah Barakatah. Clap it up.
All right, Akim. You can't throw that in the front.
Oh, you want to put me?
If you could, yeah, a little tight.
Oh, a little.
Close to this one right here.
Come on, guys.
All right, let's get it on, Akim. We'll go over the Grammys. The Grammys came on last night, right? We'll go over the Grammys and we'll explain the Grammys to everyone. We'll break the whole thing down nice and flat, like you like it. Also, I'll answer all of your questions, all right, on any topic, period. Online or in the room. Who's ready to go? Young man right here.
Yeah, I wanted to know which prophet was the one that got swallowed up by the fish.
Jonah.
And
I'm sorry, yeah, Jonah, right? Mm-hmm.
Can you break down the story for me?
Solid, pull it up. Do you know where it is?
No.
Tell the young brother where it is, all right? We'll rock it out. That's better.
Come on.
Mm-hmm. I'll take questions from whatever this thing is right here as well, all right?
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
You have it?
Come on, sir.
Lower the taste. A little more, right there. All right, go ahead. You know where it starts, right? You have it, brother, up front?
I have the book. Where should I start?
Let me hear the first verse.
Jonah 1 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now the word of the Lord came unto Jonah the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness has come up before me.
So many people have heard this story before, right? This story is about a brother that got swallowed up by a whale. Even little kids know about this story. The Christians talk about it. Everyone has heard about it. But what they don't know is why he was swallowed up by a whale. I don't have a lot of time to put into this, but I'll break the whole thing down for you, all right? The Most High told him what?
Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it.
The Most High told him, go to Nineveh and cry against it. What does that mean? To speak against it, right? Crying against it, it means speak against it. So in essence, the Most High wanted this prophet of God to go to this city and to speak the same way you do out on the street all over the world. To get out there and go to camp. That's what this prophet was told by the Most High God. Everyone understands? Please continue.
Verse 3, but Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish.
But instead of going to camp, he ran. He didn't want to go to camp in Nineveh. I'll explain later why he didn't want to go. But he did not want to go to camp in Nineveh. I'm sorry, I started over. It distracted me. Put it right in the front where this one is, all right? Salaki, I appreciate it. He did not want to go to Nineveh. Instead, he ran. He ran in the opposite direction from the city of Nineveh. Keep going.
From the presence of the Lord.
From the presence of the Lord. What does that mean? Here. Here. Right? What does that mean, the presence of the Most High? What puts you in the presence of God and what takes you out of the presence of the Most High? New York up front.
Doing his will puts you in his presence.
Give him a hand. Absolutely. Any way to take me off the screen right here?
Okay.
Yeah, just I don't want to see it. It distracts me, all right?
Okay.
The water. Go ahead. Meaning when you're doing the Most High's will, now he sees you. You get my point? He sees you. He's with you. When you are out of the presence of the Most High God, he doesn't see you. Doing his will makes him see you, acknowledge you, recognize you. You're with him. When you're not doing his will, he's not with you and he doesn't see you. So he doesn't see you getting murdered by the police. He doesn't see you in prison. He doesn't see you in the hospital. He's not with you. You're not in his presence. Everyone understands. Go ahead.
And went down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish.
So he went and ran away. He found a ship going to Tarshish. You keep going.
So he paid the fare thereof and went down into it to go with them unto Tarshish.
So just imagine you getting on a bus or getting on a train or getting on a boat, leaving, trying to make sure that you do not go to camp. You run. He ran. He bought a ticket on a boat and ran. Now, for time's sake, I need to speed you up, all right? As he's on this boat, the Most High was not having it up. When the Most High wants you to do his will, brother, I would advise you to do it. You should do it because you can't get away from him. You're supposed to be at camp. Go to camp. Show up to camp. Everything in your life will tell you that you shouldn't go. Everything will get in the way of you going to camp, especially some bitch. When I say that, I mean a woman of ill repute, a woman who is not a classy, dignified woman as the sisters in the UPK. I'm talking about some slut you meet online, some whore that you have to have, some ex-girlfriend who you're all heartbroken over. You need so much. You can't live without her. Your baby's mother who told you that if you stay in that cult, you can't see your children. Some bitch, she'll keep you from camp. If not that, your own past. Your own because you were molested as a child. You went to prison. You know, you had a terrible mother, terrible father. You know, you grew up in a broken home. You will stop you from being in the presence of God. The point is, and what you want to understand is, don't ever allow anything to remove you from the presence of God. This man tried to do it. He was told to go to camp. He was told to speak. He disobeyed. And he went and bought a ticket on a boat and tried to run. As he was on that boat out, the Most High made a storm come and scared the piss out of everyone on that boat. I'm sorry, you said I can't say certain things. Is that wrong to say? How about a DEATH? No, how about, unaliving people? Can I say that? So what do I have to say instead of that? Keep it PG. All right. Okay. So he tried to run. He couldn't run. The Most High made a terrible storm happen, and everyone was afraid that they were going to lose their lives. They began to ask on the boat to try to realize, why is this storm happening? Then they realized through questioning that there was someone on this boat who God did not want on the boat. They threw him off of the boat, and he was in the belly of a whale for 3 days. Many people don't believe that that's possible. It's quite possible. There was an African man who was found inside a sunken ship He was down there for 3 days because when something goes underwater that has air in it, air and water can't occupy the same space. This African, the boat went under and sunk, but there was a room full of air in the kitchen. He lived in that room full of air until people who came down just to salvage the boat walk around, and there's an African standing there on the sunken boat. Do I need to give you the video? Put it up on the screen. This happened, it was like 5 years ago. And there are giant whales. You know, my God, let me give you some whales. You know, the whale shark. I mean, a gigantic thing. Come on.
I got a story that says video of kayakers being captured. It says 2 women were swallowed by a whale.
Yeah, it could happen. It's not make-believe. It's scientifically it could happen. You get my point. Because of air, the way air works, and air and water not being able to occupy. You could take this cup, turn it upside down, and push it in a cup in a bowl of water. And there will be air inside that cup, though the cup is underwater. You can go home and experience it and try it yourself. Go ahead.
So like that's basically how they built the Brooklyn Bridge. They took huge chambers, turned them upside down, sent people down to dig it out.
Absolutely. That's exactly what happened. The water. So now he was in there. After a while, the whale spit him out. And where was he at? Where he should have been in the first place. Nineveh. That's where he was. He realized he had to do it. So then he went into the land of Nineveh. Now you got to skip me down now. He went to the land of Nineveh. Skip me down to after he prophesied. He went and he did it. And the Ninevites were so terrified by his prophecy, by his speaking, that they repented and changed. Because he went to Nineveh and he told them, in 40 days, the Most High God is going to come through Nineveh and what can I say? Can I say this word or not? Can I say it or not? Yediah, can I say? So he was going to come through Nineveh and kill everybody in Nineveh. They were terrified of it. They were so afraid of it that they repented and they changed. And so in 40 days, the Most High did not kill everybody in Nineveh. The Most High gave everyone a second chance, which is what the Israelite School of UPK under Commanding General Yohana is built on. Giving people who get no chance in life a second chance. Everybody understands. So the Most High God never destroyed Nineveh. That was that. Jonah was sad when God did not destroy Nineveh. That's what I'm looking for. You want to look for a gourd. A gourd grew up. Okay, you got it? Jonah was sad because he told everyone that Nineveh was going to be destroyed in 40 days, and it didn't happen because the Ninevites repented. They changed. Now you read up.
Should I start at the gourd or start where Jonah was sad?
Start where he was sad, just for a taste. I'm sorry, play the video right. You gotta rewind. Rewind to them coming around and finding it.
What's that? Okay. All right, fine one, yeah. Okay, keep it there, keep it there. All right, just hold it there, okay? Keep it there. All right, just keep it there and keep it calm, okay? All right, just for him, touch him on the shoulder.
They're underwater. They come in underwater. He's sitting there in a sunken ship because there was an air pocket on that sunken ship. And they found him in there. Everybody understands, right? So you get the point. The point is that it's quite possible, and it happened because it's in the Bible. So he went to Nineveh. He prophesied, as the Most High said, you're going to die in 40 days. If you don't repent, they repented. They did not die. And Jonah was upset. He was angry about it, right? And the Most High God went to him and taught him what he should actually feel by God not killing those people in 40 days. Now, this is where we're starting from right now. Go ahead.
Jonah chapter 4, verse 1. But it displeased Jonah exceedingly, and he was very angry. Verse 2. And he prayed unto the Lord, and said, I pray thee, O Lord, was not this my saying when I was yet in my country?
Here we go. Was this not my saying while I was yet in my country? When I was home in my country, didn't I say this? Didn't I say what? Keep going.
Therefore I fled before unto Tarshish.
This is the reason I didn't want to come to Nineveh. This is why I fled to Tarshish. Keep going.
For I knew that thou art a gracious God.
Read that again.
For I knew that thou art a gracious God.
I knew you were gracious. I knew you were merciful. Keep going.
And merciful.
Keep going.
Slow to anger.
Slow to anger. Keep going.
And of great kindness.
And of great kindness. Keep going.
And repentest thee of the evil.
And you repentest thee of the evil. Why didn't Jonah want to go prophesy against Nineveh? What was the reason, young man?
Because he knew that God was going to forgive people that repented.
Give him a hand. That's why. And this brother is a major, when it comes to being a prophet of God, this is a pitfall that many brothers fall in, and most of them leave the UPK. The IUIC is a particular group that's like that. All the rest of them, their leaders are dead and they're gone, right? That they leave the truth because being a prophet, if you don't understand Christ, you can begin to hate the people that you are trying to save. You'll hate them because you'll go out on the street every week and you'll see how destroyed they are. And they'll come against you and they'll throw things at you and try to kill you. And, you know, like in New York, you know about that, brother, last week. Were you out there last week? Oh, give him a hand. Give New York a hand. They went out there last week and some idiot tried to attack the camp 3 times and they had to fall on him. Enough of that. You'll stop wanting God to save them and you'll want God to kill them. And it happens. It happens with police officers, right? It happens with anybody who is an authority figure if you don't know mercy and kindness. You understand? If you don't know about Christ, you'll hate the people who you are supposed to serve. It happened with Jonah. The Most High God told Jonah to go to this city and tell them they're going to die in 40 days. But he knows the Most High. And he knows that if they repent, he's not going to kill them. And he didn't want to go for that reason. Everyone understands. Later on, Jonah went to go to his tent to go to sleep. That's where he slept at in Nineveh. And there was a giant gourd. A gourd is like a pumpkin or a big winter squash, right? And it grew big and tall, you know, a big old giant pumpkin. And it grew so big that it shaded him where he slept. It gave him shade. And so in the heat of that day over there in the Middle East, he had this gourd to shade him from the sun. One day he came and worms had begun to eat the gourd and the gourd died. And now he didn't have any more shade. And when he saw that gourd was dead, he mourned the gourd. He was sad because the pumpkin died. And the Most High God came to him and said, if you can mourn a gourd, can I not mourn the people of Nineveh? Can I be sad for them? Can I miss them? Can I save their lives if you wanted to save a pumpkin? In that moment, Jonah understood that he was wrong. And that's the story of Jonah and the whale. Everyone understands. Next, in the back.
So, like, in the stories in the Bible where we see accounts of angels coming to talk to the prophets of God, is there any like modern accounts in today's time where we got angels coming to speak to priests and prophets?
Well, if you're in the UPK, you're gonna hear about them because it happens to brothers in the school.
Right.
Brothers in the school, it happens. Paul said it would happen. Paul said, be careful to entertain strangers, for thou hast entertained angels unaware. And it's a UPK rite of passage to meet an angel that changes your life. That, you know, this event with this person who you don't know, and now he's gone, says something that makes you listen. And then before you know it, you're different. So if you need modern day accounts of brothers meeting angels, just stay around long enough. That's it. It'll happen. Everybody understands. Next.
Brothers and sisters, I'm going to break down 2nd Ezra 4 and 50.
No sweat. Go ahead.
God, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 4, verse 50. Then said he unto me, consider with thyself, as the rain is more than the drops, and as the fire is greater than the smoke, but the drops and the smoke remain behind.
This is a good precept, okay, to understand life. I want you to take me up to, you want to fight depression, you want to fight not being able to handle life. This is an excellent precept, all right? Let me tell you where to start. We're going to start at, we're at 2 Ezra 4, right? Okay, stand by. I'm up at, hold on. You 4 and what?
4 and 50, sir.
4 and 50. Here we go. Read 4 and 45. Now, let me give you some context, right? This is 2 Ezra 4 and 45. Ezra was another prophet of God who began to fall into another pitfall that happens to prophets of God. Loss of patience. You know, you're prophesying a thing, talking about a thing, telling everyone about Christ coming back, telling everyone that the Israelites are the chosen people of God, letting everyone know the judgment day is coming. And then before you know it, you get sick of waiting for it to come. You understand? Many people have left the truth over that because they can't wait. They're tired of waiting for it. They're tired of waiting for the sky to crack open and for Christ to come back. They're sick of it. And so many of them fall and lay down their sword and betray their oath because they can't wait for it to happen. Everyone understands, right? So now he started to fall into that pitfall. And an angel came to him and spoke to him. And he kept asking the angel, when? When is it going to happen? When will you restore Israel? When will the Israelites be the number one people on the earth as God has said they are? Instead, here we are slaves under a people that are beneath us, but they're ruling over us. When is it going to happen? When is justice coming? I'm sure after that brother got killed, and think about how many of those incidents you're going to go through, more of those incidents. They're going to kill more Black and Hispanic men, more death, more Haiti, more Venezuela, more. It's going to keep happening. And the more it happens, your people will still reject God. They'll still choose drugs and whores and ham and bacon over God. They'll still do it. Before you know it, you're sick of waiting on it. You get tired of it. Everyone understands. And that's where we are right now in this story. Read where I asked you to read from, please.
This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 4 and verse 45. Show me then whether there be more to come than is past.
Listen, if you can't tell me when it's over, then at least tell me, is there more to come than is past? Who can break that down? Come on. If there be more to come than is past, not worse or better, but more. So what is he asking? Try it again. Exactly. Meaning, have we been through the bulk of our punishment? Or is there more punishment in the future than what we've been through in the past? You get my point? So it's still, in essence, a time question. Because if the bulk of the punishment is in the past, then that means our salvation is coming sooner. But if the bulk of the punishment is in the future, then we've just started our punishment. Everybody understands? That was his question. Keep going.
Or more past than is to come.
Vice versa. In essence, did we go through a lot and only have a little bit more to go through? Or do we have a lot to go through and we only been through a little? Which one is it? Because I'm sick of this. I'm sick of being poor. I'm sick of watching my people die. I'm sick of this condition. So tell me, when is it over? Everybody understands. Continue.
Verse 46. What is past, I know.
Listen very carefully, Akim. This statement, right? Let me try to explain this to you in the simplest way. This statement will allow you to stop feeling sorry for yourself. It's right here in front of you. Because that's what happens to a man when he allows himself to go into depression and sadness. This happens. You want it to be over, don't you? You're tired of it. You're sick of it. How many people I counsel all day? You know, I counsel people like who have a terrible disease, schizophrenia, horrible disease, a disease that will make you strip naked and run down the street, a disease that will cause a lot of people to end up in the hospital for the rest of their lives. And there's a pill that they can take that manages them and it keeps them calm. And do you know they cannot take that pill? It's too much. They can't endure this. That's, you know, they can't endure, what do they say all the time? It makes me tired. I go, yeah, you're asleep instead of running naked down the highway. Go to sleep. What in the hell are you want to be awake for? So you can run ass naked down the street? Go to sleep. You want to be awake for what? You're not missing anything. Nod off and go to sleep. But instead, it's too much. It's just too much. Forget about women. Forget about women. They're going to beg to be married, beg to be divorced, cry over being alone, cry over being married, constantly be in a depression at all times, no matter what, because they can't take anything. They're cowards. They cannot take any shock, anything that is not perfection. They just can't take it. And so what do they do in these situations? What do you do? Turn to God, don't you? Everyone does that. Everyone turns to God. Everyone looks to God to say, God, why is this happening? Bad things should never happen. Why would bad things happen to me? Well, Ezra went to the Most High God and said, listen, man, I'm tired of suffering. Is it a lot of suffering to come, or is it a little bit of suffering to come? When is it over? And this was the angel's response. Now you listen carefully. Go ahead.
Oh God. What is past, I know, but what is for to come, I know not.
Listen carefully, man. I know you've been through slavery. I know you've been through gentrification. I know you've been through the crack epidemic, the heroin epidemic. I know you've been through the Spanish conquistadors. I know you've been through the Catholic Church and the resident schools from the so-called North American Indian. I know you've been through the police brutality, but what's to come, I don't know. Free yourself of that. I don't know. Who knows? You know what could happen in the future? Anything. Anything could happen. I know what you've been through, just like you know. Now, this is an angel saying this. Well, I know what you've been through, but what's to come? I don't know. Who in the hell knows what could happen? Keep going.
Oh God. Verse 47. And he said unto me, stand up upon the right side, and I shall expound the similitude unto thee.
Stand up on the right side, and now I'll explain to you what this is like, what life is like. That's what similitude means, what it's similar to, what it's like. Keep going.
Verse 48. So I stood and saw, and behold, an hot burning oven passed by before me.
So imagine a hot oven, like one of those old ovens, and it's passing by in front of you. It's moving. It's a hot burning oven. Keep going.
And it happened that when the flame was gone by, I looked, and behold, the smoke remained still.
So I see the big oven go by, and now it passes me, but that plume of smoke, it's still here. Though the oven has passed me, but the smoke from the oven is still here. Imagine an old steam engine, right? Those old trains you see in the movies. Now the train is, in essence, a giant oven is on those trains. That's the steam engine. They put coal in it so the engine can move. So the train goes by you. The train is up there, but the smoke from the coal of that train is still here, even though the train has passed me. Keep going.
Verse 49. After this, there passed by before me a watery cloud.
Then I see a big watery cloud, a rain cloud, and it passes from in front of me. It was here, and now it's moved on. Keep going.
And sent down much rain with a storm.
Oh man! And when it came in front of me, a ton of rain came out of that rain cloud while it was in front of me, and then it moved on. Keep going.
And when the stormy rain was past,
then the rain cloud passed me. It's over. The storm is done. No more storm. It stopped raining. Go ahead.
The drops remain still.
But the water was still on the ground from that rain cloud that stopped raining. But the water is still here. The remnants of the storm, even though the storm is over, the ground is still soaking wet from what happened in the past. Does everyone understand? Keep going.
Verse 50. Then said he unto me, consider with thyself, as the rain is more than the drops.
Consider to thyself as the rain. A rain is more than the drops. The rain is a giant thunderstorm, a storm. It's more than the drops. Keep going.
And as the fire is greater than the smoke.
And that fire from that oven is a lot hotter than the smoke is that lingers after the fire passes. Keep going.
But the drops and the smoke remain behind.
But that ground is still wet and that smoke is still here, though the fire and the clouds have passed. Keep going.
So the quantity which is past did more exceed.
So the quantity which is past did more exceed. Now I'll break it down for you. Unless, would you like to try to break it down? Who can relate that to life? Relate that to the question that he's asking this angel. What is the angel trying to teach him about life and about what's coming and about how much more pain and suffering will you have to go through? I know you want it to end. I know you want I know you want out of jail tonight. I get it. I know you want to be done with child support court tonight. I know you want to get a job tonight. I know you want a new place to live tonight. I know you want more money tonight. I get it. Of course you do. And you're wondering, well, damn, how long will I be poor? How long will I be alone? How long until I'll get married to the man that I'm looking for? How long until the Most High will send me a woman? How long until I'll get out of this poverty? How long? Well, this is what you have to understand. The pain you've been through in the past, it's gone, but the remnant of it is still here. You understand? The remnant of it is still here. And when I say this, I'm speaking about the condition of our people. What you see happening with blacks and Hispanics, the remnant of slavery is here. Slavery is gone. Slavery happened in the damn 1600s, ended in the 1800s. But the drops of water are here. The smoke is still here. The oppression that was a long time ago, that's over now. The oppression, the lasting remnant of it is here. So it makes the oppression linger because it stays here even after it is past. Does everyone understand? And if you can get that, that's the condition of blacks and Hispanics. That's what you see every day. Us suffering from something that happened a long time ago. It's over now, but the remnant is still here. And it makes the oppression increase because even though it's over, the residue from it still is drowning you. You're still choking on the smoke of something that happened a long time ago. Does everyone understand? Keep reading. I'm sorry. Let me finish up to get to other questions. Keep going. Need a little more. Go ahead.
Verse 51. Then I prayed and said, may I live, thinkest thou, until that time?
Now listen carefully. After he hears about the condition of his people, he wants to know, will there be more suffering or less suffering in the future? Man, listen, the suffering that happened already, you're still suffering the effects of that. That lingers. So yeah, slavery is over. You know, Jim Crow is over, but it doesn't mean the effects are gone. The effects linger a long time. Even though the actual oppression is done, it lingers so long that you're still suffering from the effects of it as a people. So then Ezra asked him a new question. Read that again. It's the last part.
Then I prayed and said, may I live, thinkest thou, until that time?
Will I live until the smoke clears? Will I live until the drops of water are gone? Will I make it until that time? Now you can free yourself with this knowledge. Listen carefully, because you can get free. You can get free instead of feeling sorry for yourself. What will happen to me? Will I be around to see the time when there are no more effects of slavery and oppression and the Spanish conquistadors in the Catholic Church? Will I be there to see that time? Keep going.
Or what shall happen in those days?
Keep going.
Verse 52. He answered me and said, as for the tokens whereof thou askest me, I may tell thee of them in part.
As for the tokens that you're asking me about, you meaning the smoke and the water, the remnants of slavery and oppression, I can tell you about them in part. Keep going.
But as touching thy life.
But what?
But as touching thy life.
But as touching your life. Keep going.
I am not sent to shew thee.
I'm not sent to show you that. This is what you want to understand about the Bible and about life, period. The Most High God can tell you about what's happening to Black people, Hispanic people, the so-called North American Indian, what will happen to us as a people, what we're suffering from, where it comes from, and that it's going to linger for a time. But as far as your life, God has not sent anyone to show you that. So what does that mean about your personal life? Who wants to blow my mind with understanding the answer? What could happen in your own personal life? Anything. Never come into the truth thinking, now because I'm in the truth, I won't ever go to jail. You absolutely could go to jail in the truth. You could go to jail because you're in the truth. Don't think that no bad thing can ever happen to you. So many stupid cowards leave the truth thinking that when they come into the truth, every good thing will happen to them. Here's something you should never, ever tell me because I will never answer your call again. You know, sir, ever since I got into the truth, so many things have been happening to me. Shalom. You called the wrong person for that. You got to call Gail for that. I don't do that. I don't help people feel pity on themselves. You come into the truth. What could happen to you? Everything. Anything and everything could happen to you. So now what should you do as a soldier? Prepare. That's what a soldier does. A soldier doesn't go and join a war and thinks, because I'm in the war, nothing bad will ever happen to me. God is with me. You're right, God is with you. And God might want to see you scrap, young man. He might want that from you. He might require it of you. Anything could happen. That you live your life like that. Not like, so then you're not shocked then by strange occurrences when you have to get in a battle, when you have to fight something. You're not amazed that this thing is happening to you. You don't have that shocked look on your face like, what, I'm being arrested? What? Get your hands off of me. I'm not supposed to be arrested. Go to jail. That's all. Go to jail. Don't be stunned. Don't, like when the cops pull you out your car and you are absolutely flabbergasted that you're being locked up. You cannot even understand how this could happen to you. Why can't you? Anything could happen to you. You live your life like that, brother. Now you're not a coward anymore. Now you're prepared and you understand that a battle might be required of you. Everyone understands. In the back. What happened with the phone, Aksalaki? Malak, no go. They suspended it. God damn it. But what did I say to ruin everything? Just for cutting a little meat out, that's all. I mean, why is this such a bad thing? So lucky you died. God damn. Can we try it again next week or something like that? We'll try it again. All right, no problem. All right. Where are we at now?
Could a precept be when it says, be careful for nothing?
Be careful for nothing. I'll take that. Be careful for nothing means don't be full of cares. Don't worry. Worrying is a terrible plague. And worrying is not a plan. It's not a plan, worrying. All right? Problems need a plan. I hope you understand what I mean. That's what problems need, a plan. Poverty needs a plan, not worrying. My homelessness needs a plan, not worrying, not tears. Tears don't give you a place to live. That's not how that works, right? Problems in life require a plan, not worrying. So correct. Next.
Brother wanted to break down. I got a general breakdown. 2 Kings 2:9. What was the spirit behind Elisha asking for a double portion?
You got to remind me of that.
This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, and verse 9. And it came to pass, when they were gone over that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray
Oh, I
thee,
remember now. Go ahead. Keep going.
let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me.
Meaning, this is Elisha was Elijah's second in command, right? But now Elijah was going to leave and then later die. And so he's asking, what shall I have? What do you want? I want a double portion of what Elijah had. Give it to me. Meaning he wanted to take what Elijah gave him and take it even farther. He wanted to be an excellent representative of Elijah. So the spirit you gave Elijah, give me double. Give it to me, because that's how zealous he was about completing the mission that Elijah was giving him. Everyone understands, which is exactly what every senior man wants a junior man. They want you not to just do what I'm doing, but do it better. Everybody understands? You see the job that the captains and the 5,000s in this school do. Do their job, but do it better than them. Do a job better than a general. You see the jobs that we do. Take our job once it's your turn. Do something more than we did. And that's what every father wants of his son. Everybody understands. All right, that's the point of that. Next.
One brother said, I have a question. The sister said all of our culture came from Africa.
Remind me to go over the Grammys before I forget. Is Alexa plugged up? Alexa? She's not plugged. Sí. Tuada. Gracias, mi gente. 1 second. I'll do that. Ask the questions.
My brother said, I got a question. The sister said all of our culture came from Africa, but the Native Indian and Hispanic tribes. So basically, Judah, Levi, and Benjamin.
All of our culture came from Africa? Like celebrating Christmas and going to church on Sunday? Isn't that black culture? What's black culture? The Grammys is black culture, right? Right? R&B music, gospel music, going to church, Christmas trees, barbecues. What is he? I don't understand what she's talking about. What's black culture? Black culture is celebrating Christmas, isn't it? Juneteenth. I'm fine with it. Give me some other things in black culture. Playing basketball, football, jazz music, hip hop. I got to move on. All right. Where's my Spanish at? Show me some African culture up on the screen for the system. Okay, while you're doing it, I'm gonna go over my Spanish while you're doing that. Stand by. Tiempo. Es tiempo. Hold on. Es tiempo. Es tiempo practicar mi español. All right, let me find what I need to find real fast. When you get it, just play it, all right? Babidi. All right, check it out, sister. Here's some African culture for you, all right? Just let me know. If you do this, then you're correct. All right, then this is what you get. I'm fine with it. There you go. Go ahead and play it for this sister.
Oh, it's just that.
Oh, you don't got video? Let us see some. Give us some video. I lost it. I'll get it while you're waiting. Okay. What is this phrase? I can't ever remember. I'm trying to remember. Okay. Pazati. mi gente. Somos la escuela israelita de conocimiento práctico universal desde 1 Oeste Calle 125, Harlem, Nueva York, bajo el mando del general Yahana desde el 1969. Carnales, esta es la verdad. Si tú eres hispano, negro o indio, nativo, tú eres Israel, el pueblo, el ahidio de Dios. All right. Okay, let's get it on. Okay, go ahead and play. That's African culture. All right. Give me female mutilation. Just put it up on the screen. Alexa, what is African female mutilation?
From dengarden.com. This type of mulch suppresses weeds.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, what is African female circumcision?
From guardian.com. The African tradition of female circumcision is the ritual of the rite of passage from girlhood into the realm of womanhood.
What is it, Alexa? Alexa, what is African female circumcision?
From guardian.com. The African tradition of female circumcision is the ritual of the rite of passage from girlhood into the realm of womanhood.
Alexa, do Africans cut off their clitoris?
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I know. You don't want to say that one. Well, sister, do you have your clitoris? Now, if you don't have your clitoris, emoja. You know, you're an African. If you have your clitoris, that's not African culture. It's African culture for a woman to cut off her clitoris as she begins to be a woman. Because they believe that if a woman has a clitoris, she will become a hoe or be promiscuous. So as she gets to be about 13 years old, to make sure that she does not have become promiscuous, they remove her clitoris, believing that she will not have sexual desire. If they were smart, they remove her tongue too, because I think they still work. They show her mouth shut, because a lot of these women who don't have vaginal sex, I'm moving on. The point is, when women say they're virgins, you should sew their mouth shut, because you'll find out that they're not actually virgins. I'm going to move on from this. Everybody understands. All right. There they go right there. Is that what is the pulling the hair out? Is this the clitoris or the hair? Yeah, I don't want to see that. Yeah, let's leave that alone now. My stomach hurt right now. So if you have your clitoris, baby girl, you probably are not adhering to African culture. You're just going to church on Sunday and celebrating Christmas. That's not African culture, all right? All right. Pop locking and hip hop dancing is not African culture. That's American Judaic culture from slavery, all right? Moving on. Any other questions?
Brother says, Salakia, sir. Can I get a general breakdown of Jude 1 and 9?
Go ahead.
Jude chapter 1 verse 9. Yet Michael the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, the Lord rebuked thee.
This is skip up so we can get the context of what it's talking about, all right? This is a precept about watching your goddamn mouth when you come before a man of power of God. You should watch your mouth. Even Michael did not use a railing accusation against Satan when they disputed over the bones of Moses. And he's Satan. You would think you could say anything you want to him. But Michael, when he battled Satan, he watched his mouth. When he battled Satan, being an angel who worked for the Most High God, which is what Satan is. His job is to weed people like you out before you receive a crown on your head, to get rid of you before you receive a reward. And Michael was battling him over the bones of Moses, and he didn't speak evil of him. He watched his mouth. So how should you speak about the men of God? You should watch your mouth. Everybody understands. For context, they were battling over the bones of Moses because right before the promised land, Moses failed and left the truth. Right before the promised land, he failed. And so now because of that, Satan is saying his bones should stay in the wilderness, his dead body. He doesn't deserve the right to be buried in the Holy Land because he laid down his sword right before the end. Michael is saying we should forgive him for what he did at the end of his life. And we should take his body, his bones, carry them into the Holy Land and give him an honorable burial. That's what Michael was disputing with Satan over. The point of this precept is in that battle, Michael still watched his mouth. And I would pray that you watch yours. Everyone understands, I hope. Anything else?
Brother said, Shalom, sir. Man, I got a breakdown on Matthew 24, 23 to 24. Is Caesar Borgia an example of a false Christ or what?
Read it. See me one more time, please, Daniela. With the you must hit me over all of them. Go ahead. Just a short one finger on here and just a chaser on here, please. Go ahead.
Oh God. This is the book of Matthew, 24, verse 43. Then, if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not.
Is this Caesar Borgia? Absolutely, you can use that. Correct. Caesar Borgia is the major false Christ on the planet. There's been other ones, different times. Christians will believe somebody is Jesus. Jim Jones back in the 70s, some random nut. I think there's someone over there in the Hasidic Jewish people believe that they have some Jesus over there right now in Brooklyn. Jesus is sitting right in Brooklyn selling, fabric and making an excellent pastrami and cheese, making such a excellent corned beef sandwich. It's delicious, Jesus's corned beef sandwich in Brooklyn. He's not Jesus, all right? Hasidic people, he's not. If you read the New Testament, you would be warned against people like this. But you don't read the New Testament, so you think Jesus is making a pastrami and corned beef and matzo ball soup in Brooklyn. He's not. But of course, Caesar Borgia, the so-called white Jesus, he'd be an excellent example, the most popular example, all right? Next.
That was a question.
Solid. Anything in the room? All right, hold on. Okay. The Grammy Awards. Clap it up. Let's get into the topic right now, right? All right. So raise your hand if you saw the Grammys. Most people saw the Grammys. It was ridiculous, right? Of course, it was, a bastion of inclusion, a bastion of tolerance, so many different lifestyles and people were represented at the Grammys. And you know what I always wonder when I hear people talk about being inclusive, right? Why is it when it comes to being inclusive, someone who is against homosexuality can't ever be included? I thought they believed in inclusion, right? So you're gay, you believe it's a good thing. I'm not, and I believe it's a bad thing. Why can't we be included? Why can't inclusion include people who disagree with it? But of course, they tout, how inclusive they are and how everyone is represented. No, they're not. People who are against it are not represented. This is the great myth about the melting pot and the inclusive spirit of, how the LGBTQ community is, that they don't include people who disagree with it. The only people that they include are people who are pro-LGBTQ, which means we are excluded from it. We're not allowed to pull out a damn knife. We're completely excluded. With all of this inclusion, they're so inclusive. You know what the problem with gay people is? They're not tolerant of. That's the problem with them. They don't have any tolerance. They can't tolerate someone who's against what they think. We're in the Israelite school of UPK. The majority of everyone hates what we say. And what do? We accept them. We don't kick them off the internet. We don't stop them from opening up new churches. We don't call the police on them when they're having the Million Man March or the March on Washington. We don't do anything to stop what they're doing because the UPK is tolerant. We tolerate the LGBTQ community. We tolerate Muslims. We tolerate Christians. We're inclusive. They're not. They exclude us. Well, last night on the Grammy Awards, everyone was included. You had a section for the LGBTQ community. Some cat, Sam Smith, came out there. I don't know what the hell that was. That was like satanic. It was like it'll hurt your head. But they're allowed to do that. That's fine. It was including him. That's okay. Then they had the old school hip hop version, which most Judites like. That was your part. If you're black, the old school hip hop part, that was for you. The other part was for the gays. The other part was for them. Then they had some country music. Bonnie Raitt and Chris Stapleton. That's for the people that like country music, right? Let me explain to you something first about the music business, and this is important to understand. It is a business, just like potato chips. If you want to understand what you saw last night at the Grammys, go into the potato chip aisle in your supermarket. What do you see there? Who can answer my question? Varieties of chips. You got the barbecue, the sour cream, the Ruffles, the Pringles. It's a variety of chips. Who owns those potato chips, those varieties? The same company. One company owns every flavor, every brand. Go into the soda aisle or the pop aisle if you're from the Midwest. What do you see? Sprite, lemon lime soda, Coca-Cola, root beer, cherry this. Who owns them? Coca-Cola owns all of them. Every last one. Every soda on that aisle, every company is owned by Coca-Cola. Every last one. It might be 10% of them owned by Pepsi. And that's that. That is the Grammys, and that is the myth of inclusion. There is really no inclusion because one person owns it all, and you are sitting there buying the barbecue chips thinking you're against the people who buy the sour cream and onion. You think you're different from them. Your part was the hip hop part. That's your chips. The gays had their part. The country people had their part. One person owns all of it. And this is the myth of art. The myth of art is that it's for you. Art is for the patron. You understand what I mean by that? Alexa, what is a art patron or a patron of the arts?
Here's something I found on reference.com. Generally, a patron of the arts is defined as a person who supports artists with contributions of financial support.
Alexa, stop. Since art was invented, that picture of that Cesar Borgia on the Sistine Chapel, paintings on church walls, statues in the Catholic Church, all of it is not for you. It's for the person who paid for it. He buys it. It's his. He buys it because he wants people to come to this church to see this beautiful mosaic on the Sistine Chapel ceiling. And everybody floods into the church to see the artwork in the church, to see the Weeping Mary statue in Lourdes, to see all of the artwork, but it's not for the people who come to see it. It's the will of the patron, the person that pays for it. Now, I'm trying to make you grow up. This is difficult to grow up because art is a powerful witchcraft. Music is powerful. It's a powerful witchcraft. Powerful. And you can think this is speaking to you. You know, this is for you. This is for the person that paid for it. It's for him. And he has an agenda, which usually revolves around money. And this art is representing his agenda, not yours. And when you watch the Grammys and you like this part of the Grammys, but you don't like this part, just know that one person paid for it all, and he's giving you your part. Now, with that said, what's your part? Your part is black music. That's your part, correct? That's your part. Your part is not the gay part, not the country music part. Your part is the music, what do they call it? The music industry. There is no worse industry on the planet than the music industry. It's so terrible, you can't even call it an industry. To even call it an industry is a joke. Let me show you a real industry. Let me think of how to word this. Alexa, how many people from India are employed by the whole... Alexa, stop. Alexa, how many people from India are employed in the hotel industry?
From collegeadunia.com. Currently, more than 2.60 million people are working in a hotel, catering and allied industry in India, and the number is going to increase in the coming years as new hotels are coming up in large numbers in urban and semi-urban areas.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, how many people in America are Indian? So Alexa, stop. Alexa, how many Indian Americans work in the hotel industry in America?
From evercruisereport.com. According to India's ambassador to the United States, America is home to 50,000 Indian-born physicians and 10,000 Indian-American hotel and motel owners who employ nearly 600,000 people. Some 40% of American hotel rooms are owned by Indian-Americans.
Oh, stop. 40% of hotel rooms are owned by Indians. 40% of them in America. Alexa, how many people from India own, Alexa, stop. How many people from Asia own stores?
From sma.edu.sg, the study Asian family businesses analyzed the performance of more than 3,500 publicly listed family businesses in the Chinese mainland, Hong Kong.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, how many stores in Chicago are owned by Asians?
From wikipedia.org, there are about 1,000 Korean-owned facilities including restaurants, martial arts centers, import trade stores, grocery stores, clothing stores, and wig stores.
1,000 in Chicago. Alexa, how many musicians... Alexa, stop. Let me think how to word this. Alexa, how many people make it in the music industry? Alexa, how many people succeed in the music industry?
From musicthinktank.com, there are 1,000s of successful musicians ranging from 30 to 60 in every area of the music business.
Let me help you out. Alexa, what percentage of people who are musicians will succeed in the music business?
I don't know that one.
Okay, let me think, Alexa. Please, Malak.
It's 0.04%.
Yeah, what's the question you asked her?
How many musicians had success?
Alexa, how many musicians have success in the music business?
From sonicbids.com, it's an industry where the overwhelming majority of musicians experience failure more often than success.
Overwhelming. What's the number again, Malak?
0.04.
0.04. That's not an industry. That's a casino. That's what that is. Here's the myth. The music business, with all of your love for it, has never lifted Black people out of poverty. It never has, and it never can, and it never will. It's not even an industry. It's a gamble where you lose and the patron wins. It's more like the gambling industry than it is the stores, the restaurants, the hotel business. That's an industry. The Indians have an entire industry. They dominate. And one more second. Alexa, how many people from India or Pakistan work in the hotel industry in America?
From tampabay.com, in Florida alone, Indians operate about 1,000 motels.
1,000. How many Indians are employed in those hotels, Alexa? Alexa, how many Indians are employed in Indian-owned hotels in America?
From evercruisereport.com, according to India's ambassador to the United States, America is home to 50,000 Indian-born physicians and 10,000 Indian American hotel and motel owners who employ nearly 600,000 people.
600,000.
American hotels
600,000. Have you been in an Indian hotel? Do you know who works in there? Indians. You've been in a 7-Eleven. Alexa, how many 7-Elevens are owned by people from India?
From scroll.in, as per the data, 6.8% or 5.43 lakh units are owned by people from the scheduled castes category, while entrepreneurs
Somebody asked
from
to
the
stop.
scheduled
Alexa,
castes own
Alexa, stop. Alexa, do people from India own the 7-Eleven franchise?
From evercursreport.com, according to India's ambassador to the United States, America is home to 50,000
Alexa,
Indian
stop.
born.
That's an industry. The hotel industry, the restaurant industry. Alexa, how many people from Asia work in the restaurant industry?
From KoreaBizWire.com, Statistics Korea said that there were a total of 1.9 million people working in the restaurant industry as of 2020, accounting for 7.7% of all employment.
That's an industry. The Chinese have that. That's theirs. What do you have? Singing and dancing? Yes, yes, y'all. You don't stop to the hip hop, to the break of dawn. That's your industry, where nobody is hired, nobody has a job, and you celebrate it like it's a real industry, like it's something, like it's the hotels for the Indians, for the people from India, or like it's a store for the Chinese or the Koreans, or like it's a nail salon for the Koreans, like as if this is a real industry. It's not, Doc. It's in your stupid mind. It's going to Vegas and putting $1 in a slot machine. That's the numbers. I'll ask it one more time. No, let me blow you. Stop right there. Alexa, how much money? Wait, you got something. Go ahead.
Here is an answer I translated
Alexa,
from.
stop. Who chronicled the American Dunkin' Donuts scene in 2007? It discovered that the Indians and Pakistanis own about 95% of the Dunkin' Donuts stores in the Chicago region.
The Indians and the Pakistanis in Chicago own 95% of the Dunkin' Donuts. That's an industry. That's a thing that lifts the Pakistanis and the Indians from poverty. They're not going to be in poverty. It raises the entire community out of debt, out of squalor, out of the slums. That is an industry. It's a real thing. The music industry is not an industry, it's a gamble. It's gambling on hopes and dreams. It's not real. It's for children. Everybody understand? Now that's just the facts of the matter. Let me illuminate it further. Alexa, what was Michael Jackson's net worth when he died?
From Feedings.com. When Michael Jackson died in 2009, his estate was worth $482 million.
Alexa, what was Michael Jackson's debt when he died?
Here is an answer from an Alexa Answers contributor that I translated. Michael Jackson died on June 25, 2009, at the age of 50, in Los Angeles. The cause of death was...
Alexa, stop. Alexa, how much debt did Michael Jackson have when he died?
From extravaganza.com. When Michael Jackson died suddenly in June of 2009, he was $400 million in debt.
Yeah, that's it. He's virtually penniless. Every penny he had, he owed. Every last penny. Michael Jackson didn't have any money. Please read it.
$285 million.
That's it. He had nothing. He had this much and owed the same amount. He owed the exact same amount as he made. The exact same thing. And you're looking at Michael Jackson with them monkeys and all that garbage. And you're thinking, boy, I wish I could be like him one day. You're like him right now, broke. That's you right now. You're Michael Jackson. Congratulations. You made it. Why do you think the Rolling Stones tour at 85 years old? Who wants to blow my mind? Alexa, how old is Mick Jagger? Alexa, how old is Mick Jagger?
Mick Jagger is 79 years old.
Alexa, does Mick Jagger still tour?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, As of October 2021, Mick Jagger is still singing and in fact,
Stop,
is on tour
Alexa.
with the
Right now. Tonight. Right now. Why do you think that is? Huh? Use your stupid ass head. He's 79. He's 80 years old, Doc. Use your effing mind. He doesn't have any money because it is not a real business. They're paying you in blowjobs from groupies. That's your money. That's how you get paid. Blowjobs from groupies. They keep the money. You don't get any money. You're going to be 85 years old, like Grandmaster Flash. You're never getting off tour, ever. There ain't no they don't have any retirement plan. If you work down at the damn the bread factory at 65, you might get a pension or something like that. Health care. There is no health care for the music business. They don't have a health care plan. They don't have any retirement fund. You don't pay into Social Security. If you're in the music business, you do not have a Social Security check coming. You could work at the goddamn the factory. What's the car factory? GM factory. You would get to go to the dentist sometime. You'd get to go get some of that diabetes taken care of or get some blood pressure medication. If you are a singer or a rapper, you don't have health care at all. Do you understand? That's the Grammys. That's the truth of the whole thing. That's it. That's the truth of it. To even call it an industry is a lie. It doesn't hire anybody. Nobody works there. How in the hell could the thing be an industry when no one actually works in it? It's not an industry, y'all. It's a gamble. It's a casino. Captain. Alexa, how old is Smokey Robinson?
Smokey Robinson is 82 years old.
Smokey Robinson just got his new shit out this week. That's going to be you. That's it. Do you think an 82-year-old man wants to dance? You understand? Don't you ever want to stop working, ever? You cannot stop performing if you're in the music business because you don't get any money. So just to survive, you're going to be 85, pop locking and dancing and doing the twist, which Chubby Checker did until he dropped dead. Is Chubby Checker dead? Alexa, is Chubby Checker alive?
Chubby Checker is still alive.
Then he's touring right now. Stop, Alexa. Alexa, is Chubby Checker still touring? Alexa, is Chubby Checker still performing?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, Chubby Checker still occasionally performs a concert. He has 2 concerts scheduled in September 2022, one in Dunn Center in Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Go ahead, y'all. All right, go. Stop, Alexa. Go ahead, Doc. Do the twist, Doc. Go ahead and do the twist at 85 years old in Rocky Mountain, Virginia. Go ahead. I don't know what else I can do for y'all. I got to move on. Okay. What I would advise, if you love music, here's what's better. You do it because you love it for the people that like to hear it, and that's that. You understand? That's what it was. Somebody just singing and rapping, because to think that you're going to be in some fictional business for it is insane. It's not real. What Blacks and Hispanics need is an actual industry that lifts us out of poverty like every other race has. Like the people from Pakistan and India and China and Korea, they have real industries where all of their people come and work in this industry. It's owned by them. It doesn't get danced about on the Grammys, right? It's not sexy, and it doesn't get you blowjobs in the bathroom. It doesn't get you all the cocaine you want, but it will lift your people out of poverty. Commanding General Yohana is working on it. I pray you understand. All right. Come on.
You bring it out, it's so heavy, sir. I don't know. A lot of people on social media, especially our people, are going real crazy on trying to get these Beyonce tickets because she's going on tour. You know what I mean? Again, she just did some shows. I think over there in Dubai,
Yeah.
where the buy-in was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Listen, I'm gonna go see Beyonce too. I'm just going to wait till she's 85. I'll be there. You gotta see it now? Obviously not. I can go see Chubby Checker next week. Just wait. Just be patient. You want to see Beyonce, brothers and sisters? You got plenty of time to see Beyonce. She'll be touring until she's 97 years old. Anything else? It's no sin to go to a concert, but no rush either, because she's going to tour till she's 87. Okay? What else can I do for you? You want to see the Spinners, the Four Tops, the Temptations, the Lindsay Hop? You can see everybody that you want to see. You want to see somebody that performed in black and white? They're out there. You want to see the Motown Review? You like that? You want to see Stevie Wonder? He can't see you, but you can damn sure see him until he's 97 years old. So, yes, you can go to see Beyonce. There's just no rush. Anything else? Any questions? Oh, shit, I got to go. All right, with that, pass the class over. The police officer done, y'all.